Hello, and thank you for joining me here on Sew Stitch Hex. I'm Miss Izzy, and today I'm going to be doing another segment of Bibliofancy and reviewing Egyptian Prosperity Magic, Spells and Recipes for Financial Improvement, Claudia R. Dillaire. Now, I really liked this one. It was one of the first few books that I purchased on a specific for like money, even though I've since read Demonic Prosperity Magic by S. Connolly and other books. This was the first for money that I had gotten, and I really enjoyed this one. Most of the things that I found very noteworthy were their description for candles. Like 4-inch candles were burned for 75 to 90 minutes and are chosen because they will burn out the same evening they are lit. You may wish to burn these candles one at a time or in a series of 3, 5, or 7. You can burn one candle each evening for 3, 5, or 7 days, depending on how much time you wish to spend on the situation. And they continue so on with 6-inch candles, 9-inch candles. They talk about crystals. They go into deep discussion of like the crystals, how like cleansing with sunlight and moonlight and knowing whether or not the crystals that you have will be bleached by the sunlight, or whether or not you can put them in water, or if that's going to ruin them, because some of them, put in water, they're gone, or they're toxic, and you don't want that. So this goes into like a brief, like, make sure you know what you're doing. It has a very nice types of prosperity magic spells: attraction, banishing, beginnings, blessings, communication, creativity, dispelling negativity, endings, and so on, with other like terminology you might see when doing magic. And there is also a description of the oils used and the different ingredients and base for the oils. I really like that they go over the base. The bulk of this book, I feel, anyway, it felt like the bulk of the book when reading it, is about the different deities, what they do, what they all about, what you do for them. I didn't even think it was a lot. It just felt like a lot. As I'm scrolling through, it's not actually a lot. Okay, so from page 31, starting with Amen, going to page 78, ending with Thoth, of a, well, let me not include Appendix B or Appendix A in this page count. The appendix are huge as well. 202. So 202 pages. It's like 40 pages of just the gods. That's good, because that, they're one of the important things when you're doing something like this. Sorry. Just wanted to tilt it. It just feels like a lot. And there's only 5 chapters. But some of it's just like, I don't know. It's just not divided well. Oh, sorry. Yawn. Like, chapter 5 goes from 185 to 202. Chapter 4 goes from 79 to 184. Yeah. Now, yes, chapter 4 is the spells, and 5 is the emergency financial spells, which has its own section, and I find that very cute. The spells are really detailed, like undeserved. Undeserved oil, it has the oil, which is 1 teaspoon base oil, 6 drops clove essential, 8 drops myrrh essential, 4 drops orris essential, and 2 to 4 small sunflower seeds. Deities being Apophis, Khepri, Osiris, Sekhmet, and Sakar. Candle, relate to the deity or deity you will be addressing. Deity or deities. Sorry, good word. Or use black, blue, green, orange, white, or yellow, which are appropriate for all of the spells in this book. And then it talks about, like, it has the directions, which are brief. Take a pinch of the herbs and sprinkle or blow it onto your altar. And recite the following. And it gives you the whole spell. Get you some more instructions, and then do the spell. Some more instructions, spell, more. Basically, that's how it goes. It's like, here's stuff to do, more spell, more stuff to do, more spell, and it goes on and on and on. There's the assumption you're going to have an altar at this point. Like, you are reading this, and I know most books like this, you should read it first, and then after you've read it, go back and then do the spell. You shouldn't do the spell as you're reading, unless it's something like, this is a meditation you need to do for like 3 weeks. Okay, do it. Or with Tomas per Hour and La Santa Muerte, how he's like, take a week and just think about, what does death mean to you? That's different, which I already thought about the concept, so I didn't take that week when reading it, but I like the idea. Take a week to learn your stuff, you know? And this is just kind of like, of course, you would have theoretically already done that, but it didn't have a section where it told you to stop and then to look into it. I, however, did enjoy this book. I thought it was very well laid out, giving so much for each one. Now, of course, if you don't have the herbs needed, you can skip it. Really, I think the most important part of each spell is that you are honoring the proper god or goddess, and that you are saying the words when you need to. Most of it, I think, is intent, although most money spells that I've seen, it's more of what can you put into it that you're going to get out, which sometimes is not good because you're putting like $20 into a spell, which may yield $25 somehow, but then it could also, that's $5 profit. That's not, no. You could keep putting money in, but then you're just throwing all your money out the window. So obviously, you threw all your money away and you're wondering why you have no money. Well, stop spending money. I asked for more money, and then next thing I knew, I had 3 jobs and was working, yes, amount of hours. I wasn't specific, but I guess the gods knew that I wouldn't just accept money that fell from the sky. I like to work for things. I like to do hard. I like actually deserve what I get. So there's that. So like, be careful what you ask for. Be careful how you ask. Know what you're asking for with the money. If you're gonna do it, go all the way, but don't throw all your money into it. Like if you spend $100, you're gonna be like out $100. But if you spend $20, you know, I mean, that's a lot. $20 could almost fill up my car. Could feed me for like almost the whole month. I don't need a lot, but still, that's a lot. So like, look into it. Like if I was starting from nothing and I used any amount of the herbs that they listed, it could cost me like $30 to get all the ingredients. But I have a large surplus of plants, so I'd be good. Overall, though, sorry, I greatly enjoy the detail put into it, like invincible. This spell helps overcome anything. You want nothing to stand in the way of your success. Place 1 coin in a spell bottle of liquid, such as water, vodka, or wine. Sprinkle in herbs and put it on your altar during the spell work. At the conclusion of the spell, spin the coin and pass this prosperity around, and sprinkle the liquid around your house, place of business, or wherever it will do the most good for your success. Additionally, if you are looking for financing for a startup business, you could sprinkle the liquid outside the bank before your meeting. See, I like the ones that go through this stuff, because sometimes it's like, that sounds suspicious. Like, let me just dump this out of the bank. But also, like, I get it. A lot of the stuff I've looked at in Hoodoo does the same things, and I'm still thinking, like, today's world, that's kind of sketch. Like, I love it. I agree. I'd totally do it, but it's still kind of sketch. Like, you gotta watch those things. Like, I'm just dumping random liquid out at the bank. Like, don't mind me. I mean, you'd have to do it really sly, but then it's like, are you ashamed? Like, I know you're not ashamed. of your craft, you're not ashamed of the deities involved, you're not ashamed. But you need to be subtle. You can't just be like, ah, hey, magic. Because you're doing that, and then people are like, the fuck's she doing over there? Like, ooh, that's creepy. I'm calling the cops. That's terrorism. No, it's not. It's spirituality. It's my... Yeah, it looks bad. It looks strange. Like when you see me walking in the park and I find a completely pristine rabbit and passed away. It looked like it had a heart attack because it was right near it wasn't the park, it was the campus, but it looked like it had a heart attack because it was really close to where all the hawks make their nest. Yeah. And you're just like, let me go get a bag to preserve this so I can get the bones. Doing stuff like that, it's creepy. People see you and they're like, oh, yeah, back away slowly. But then vulture culture. So don't touch me. Don't bother me. I'm not bothering you. But then also public safety and health concerns. That is, I think it's against the law. It's public area. But I mean, they don't own this critter. You know, things like that. Watching out where you're at and what you're doing. You don't want to just go, like, maybe you're doing a money prosperity thing because you are getting insurance money or something. You put money, put the oil out or water. Preferably you're not just pouring oil out into the grass. Sorry. I was thinking that a little bit. Pouring the proper things where they're supposed to go. Not hurting the planet. And then get seen and get called out, like, why are you being weird? And then if you do answer, like, hey, I was doing this for money drawing. Oh, so you're trying to spell people? No. Okay, well, what I heard was you're doing this and it's going to make them give you more money. No. Just like I do a blessing on myself. That's not spelling people. That's just, doing what I do. There's no different from praying for that Mercedes or something strange. If you get a Mercedes and then thinking, oh God, I made it happen. No, you didn't make it happen. You asked for it and it just happened to happen. Congrats. Someone likes you. Like, I'm not spelling people to give me money. If you're doing magic like this, you're just trying to increase the chances of it appearing. You're trying to increase your chances of it happening. That doesn't mean that you stop trying in real time. It means that you go to work. You go to your job. Whoops. You go to your job. You keep working. You don't just ask out because you did the spell. So, oh, I don't need to go to work. Money's just going to come my way. No. You go to your job. You pick up that overtime. They asked. Do it. Get all the hours. There's more money right there. It means, hey, you found some money on the sidewalk. Pick it up. You found an opportunity to recycle some stuff for money or sell something you don't use. That might be the prosperity that you're looking for. Getting rid of something you don't need and profiting from it, which gives you both space and wealth. And maybe mental clarity too, depending on how you clean your space. I like chaos. All these books that need to be read. Some of them just need to be reread, but, or taken notes from, but the insanity. So, yeah, don't forget to do things in the real world and be cautious of what you do that's magical in the real world because, you don't want people to be crazy. All right. Thank you for joining me here on Sew Stitch Hex. Hope to see you next time.